Hey everyone, I'm Mine, and this is set number 75335, BD-1 from the LEGO Star Wars theme. This set contains 1,062 pieces, one droid figure, and will retail for $99.99 in the US. This set does not come out until August 1st, 2022, but it was sent to me early by the LEGO group through the LEGO Ambassador Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are my own. Before I get started, I'd just like to ask you guys, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I've got one more early summer 2022 LEGO Star Wars review coming very soon, and some other very exciting stuff in a couple of weeks. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, by liking and subscribing, it'll help put it in your feed as soon as it's posted, and also really help support me in the channel. But with all that being said, let's get on to the review. So here is the giant buildable BD-1, and I'd say looking at it from afar, this does look pretty good. The angles on the legs and everything are captured really well, the face is very expressive. I really like what they gave us here. But let's take a look up a little bit closer to see the more intricate details. So the way the feet are done are really interesting, or I guess the entire leg system. You build like a Technic skeleton for the legs first, and then you attach system bricks on top of them. So you basically had like a Technic foot that I slid a brick shoe onto, and then I connected it together. Which was really interesting to build, but the end result looks really good. And I really love the shaping on the feet. You can see at the back and at the front, they come up a little bit to meet the leg. So this like middle arch of the leg is actually not touching the ground, even though the front and back are, but it's still very stable, like he's attached to the ground really well, and also just makes the entire thing look a lot more organic. Around the back of the feet, I really like this candle piece used here. I guess that's to be sort of a mechanical wiring design, or maybe like a pipe or something. That again though does look really good and really captures that whole droid feel. And both legs and feet are exactly identical, just mirrored, so we're pretty much only going to be looking at one leg for most of this. Coming up the leg, you have this really nice red stripe, and once again you can see the way that like wraps around that Technic skeleton. On the insides of the legs, the Technic is still shown, but that is actually pretty accurate to the way BD-1 looks in Jedi Fallen Order. So I think that works pretty well. The way they did these wires right here are super cool too. This is probably my favorite part of this set. These are just the standard minifigure whip pieces. We have them in black and gold here. We've gotten them in black plenty of times before, but I do believe gold is an all-new recolor for this set. If it's not, let me know in the comments. But that's a really cool recolor for that part for just like minifigures and whatnot. But also the way it's connected and everything makes for really cool wiring. And once again, makes this feel a lot more like an actual droid. Then you can see there's a pretty sharp angle in the leg. Really love how that transition's done with like this round bit in the middle. That looks really nice. And then the upper part of the leg's really beautiful. I love how it's rounded off at the top. These little mechanical bits on the side really add a nice bit of detail. And even though it can barely be seen, the inside of the leg looks pretty good too. Like I really love the way it connects to the body, even if it's just on one of these rigid Technic joints that we've seen in plenty of other sets. They made it feel really unique and like it really fits this set. And that is something I appreciate. And then of course there is articulation to these legs. You can angle them in or angle them out, as well as rotate them a full 306 degrees. That is, if his head doesn't get in the way. In terms of actually getting BD-1 like in a walking pose where he's still held up, this is about the best you can do. You can see the back parts of those feet are a little loose so they can stay flat on the ground while the entire rest of the body bends. However, because they're so small, they don't actually provide a lot of stability. So he is still pretty limited in how you can pose his legs, and if you bend him too far back, those feet will break off. But there's also how the build looks with the legs rotated out, and there it is with the legs rotated in. Rotated in is a little bit funny, but rotated out actually looks pretty good. So you do have some options, but most of the pose builder you're going to get is with the head. But now moving to the body, take a look at the very front. You can see there's a little bit of texture detailing here, little stripes of red and everything, of course. The sides of the body are pretty much just flat, but that's to leave room for the legs. Do I wish they were a little more detailed? Maybe, but it's really not a big deal because the legs are very detailed, and they cover up most of the sides of the body. And then at the back, once again, lots of texture and detailing. Really love like all the little exhaust pipes right here, and then like the grate pieces. I think they all come together and really fit that whole droid feel. Then coming to the neck, you can see it connects with these round Technic pieces, and this looks like it would be a hinge, but it's actually not. The neck is locked in place right there. Like there's a little room for it to wiggle, but there's no room to actually articulate it. However, at this top part of the neck, you can actually articulate it. The head is attached loosely, so you can angle it just side to side very easily. Just knock it back and forth. However, it's also on one of those newer, like, rounded Technic joints, so you can also hinge the entire thing up or down. In terms of the head itself, I think the face is really cute. Obviously, both eyes are different, but it gives him a lot of personality. The way the shaping of the face is done is really cool. The eyes and the bricks behind them are completely separate from, like, this area on the outside. You can see it disconnects like this. However, when you have them down, it does seem like one cohesive build. There just might be a few kind of noticeable gaps, but it still fits like in the world of LEGO. And then if you want to like put some expression in the eyes, you can angle those up as you just saw. And then the eyes themselves have a little bit of room to rotate, though not very much, and it doesn't really change like the look of this guy. But yeah, these two flaps on the side can be moved to show like emotion if you want. Lots of red used on the side here. I think that looks really pretty. And then of course there's the antennas coming out the back. Out the very back, there's like this display panel of lights, and this is supposed to display display what mood BD-1 is in. And then the other side of the head is mostly identical to the side you just saw. However, there is a slight transformation feature with this. You can see there's a little drawer in his head right here. And if you pop that open, inside there's 3 stim canisters. Now this is a pretty cool reference to the Jedi Fallen Order game. However, I wish this storage feature was incorporated a little bit better, because unfortunately this drawer always feels loose no matter what I'm doing with this character. So for example, if you've got the drawer closed and you're just trying to pose the head, sometimes it'll just fall out like that. So I really wish there was some sort of locking mechanism to keep that inside the head. Probably wouldn't be too difficult to customize if you wanted, but that does take away from the overall experience of this set a little bit. It's definitely not a huge deal though. And if you're curious, there's how those stim canisters look removed. Here's a look at the top of the head. Overall, again, very nice looking. One of the few bits of asymmetry in the build, which I do like to see. But again, I don't have a ton to say about it. It's mostly just plates and tiles. I do like the rounding, though, how they transition from the top of the head to the side. That is just really smooth. But yeah, that's about it for the actual build of BD-1. Overall, he's cute, but he's definitely more for display more than play. I mean, that's clearly intentional. The set's not targeted towards kids. But even trying to, like, pose him and everything, he definitely falls apart somewhat easily. So while he is stable as like a model, he's not going to fall apart on your shelf. If you're picking this guy up and moving around a lot, yeah, some pieces are bound to fall off every now and then. So that is something to be aware of. But overall, I still think it is pretty good. And if you're a fan of like Jedi Fallen Order, I think you'll like this one. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. There is one more thing to look at with this set, and that is the little display stand. So as we see with like UCS sets, there's this little information panel all about BD-1. This isn't a UCS set, but it still gets that same like informational panel. Those are always cool. It is a sticker, not a print. Would have been better if it was a print, but this is still nice for what it is. And then the set also comes with a little minifigure scale BD-1. And now this one is really cute. This uses the same mold as the green one that came in the Mandalorian set earlier this year, but obviously with all the green parts swapped out for red. I think it translates this droid into minifigure scale pretty well. Unfortunately, there is not those blue dots on the back of the head, which would have been nice. But yeah, obviously it's very small. I think it does a decent job of capturing this character, and it's a nice touch because we've never gotten this character in minifigure scale before. So it's cool to get it in this like giant buildable scale as well as minifigure scale in the same set. But now I think that's about all I have to say on this set. So what are my overall thoughts? As you just heard me say, if you're a fan of Jedi Fallen Order, I think you'll like it. But honestly, yeah, I think this is one you can skip. I'm personally not someone who collects all these like big droids, so maybe it's just not for me. $100 seems like a steep asking price for this. And while he's cute and he's well made, I don't know, he doesn't seem like anything especially exceptional to me. But I want to make it clear, I don't think he's a bad set by any means. Just, I don't know, I don't feel like there's a ton to say about him. If you like the way he looks on the box and in this review, you'll probably be happy with the set. But if you weren't interested in the set in the first place, I don't think it's worth buying the set to find out. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please press like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I do LEGO videos just like this one almost every day, so if you subscribe, you'll be the first to see them. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!